So we're going to talk a little bit about durometer today when it comes to hardness of wheels. Now, unlike our comparison of the last wheel video we did soft wheels versus hard wheels. Today we're just going to be talking about hard wheels and the differences between the levels of hard wheels. Mostly what you would use each level of hardness for. And at the end of the day, it is going to all come down to preference, but there are some advantages and disadvantages on why you would want a harder hard wheel versus a softer hard wheel and vice versa. So I have three hardnesses of wheels right here. Now they're all pretty similar in hardness looking at it, like if you were just to hold them up and look at them. Even if you were to ride them in the same parking lot, you might not notice too much of a difference, but the first one I'm gonna talk about here is this Powell Peralta wheel 97A. So this is a little bit softer. It's a little bit on the softer side. So depending on how you skate, if you like to have more or less friction, like when you're skating like a ledge, if you're gonna be doing like 270 outs of no slides or something, you're probably gonna want a little less friction in the wheel because a softer wheel like this is gonna grab the ground a lot more easily. If you're living in like the eastern or northern parts of the United States, or if you live in like a country where you actually have weather, unlike Southern California, you're probably gonna want a little bit softer of a wheel because the ground is gonna be a lot more rough than it is here in Southern California. Luckily, we have like smooth ground everywhere down here. Yeah, you're gonna need to provide a little bit more force in your spins or reverts when riding a wheel like this. But the upside to that is it's a lot more comfortable riding it on rough ground. And the next wheel we have here is our CCS 52mm at 100A. Now this is basically just your standard hardness of like a normal skate wheel. So like if you don't really care to have extra firm wheels or even slightly softer wheels, which that's kind of my stance, I don't really care either way. Like if I need to force a revert or force a trick, I'll do that if I have to. But this is mostly, yeah, just your middle ground, nice, even, normal, for lack of a better word, wheel. Now here we have Nora's Pro OJ wheel that is 101A. So this is a little harder than its predecessors here in this video. So this wheel is gonna be able to slide around at skate parks and smooth the ground a lot easier. Personally, I think people that tend to ride harder wheels, it kind of goes hand in hand with skate parks, because skate parks are typically made with really smooth concrete, and even if it's wooden ramps or metal ramps, the ground itself is still pretty smooth. So these allow a lot of sliding, and especially if you skate a lot of transition or ramps, you're gonna wanna have that wiggle room when it comes to sliding. And that also goes for trying tricks on whether it be ledges, pyramids, rails, anything where you kind of need to slide. You're not gonna really need to use as much force, or maybe even not as much wax, because you'll be able to just slide your wheel across the ground easier. Also, I'm sure you noticed that these three wheels are different sizes, and that is mostly just preference as well. Bigger wheels are gonna cover more ground, while smaller wheels are going to flip and rotate a lot easier. So whatever your preference is, whatever you like to skate mostly, if you are more into the technical aspects of skating, skating ledges, a lot of flip tricks, a lot of flip in, flip out stuff, most likely you're gonna gravitate towards a smaller wheel. Not exactly, you don't need to have smaller wheels, but the trend tends to be a lot of people who like that type of skating tend to prefer smaller wheels, typically between 52 and 54. And the Powell Peralta wheel here is 54, so this is your good like middle ground. These might last you a little bit longer if you're willing to ride your wheels down to like the bare bone. And Nora's wheel here is 56, so you know, she's gonna cover a little bit more speed and maybe some more ground. She skates a lot of transition, so a bigger wheel is ideal for that. Now, I know when talking about the hardness of the wheels, you know, you might be thinking, well, there's not that much difference there, so why does it really even matter? And I have a little scale here to put it, you know, just to put it into perspective on just the little minor differences that actually will make a slight difference. Okay, so for our softest wheel in this set, 97A, let's compare that to a Glizzy. You know, it's not too soft, it's not Twinkie soft, you know, it has some flexibility, but it's still relatively hard. I can throw it at this wall behind me and it's probably not gonna break. 97A, Glizzy. We can relate our 100A wheel to maybe something like an eggplant. It's a little bit harder, not quite rock solid, unlike this cucumber here, which is pretty solid, you know, a little bit of flexibility, but you know, pretty hard. So we're gonna compare that to the 56 millimeter 101A Nora wheel. So whatever skating you like to do is gonna determine whatever hardness of wheel. What the hell is that? Did that guy just throw that rock? So whatever hardness of wheel you prefer, whether it be glizzy, eggplant, or cucumber, it all comes down to, you know, your preference. There's no right or wrong here. It's all about having fun. So whatever you enjoy skating the most, we got wheels for that. So yeah, pick your poison.